do it. Welcome to the Bear Collective podcast, where we meet you at the edge of what you know and dance with you into the depths of what you don't in all things personal development, relationships, and lifestyle. We empower you to take what you need and leave what you don't. Thank you for listening, watching, and subscribing. Now let's get into today's episode, which is another confessional.
We love these. They're fun.
Yeah.
They're fun. And we hope that they help you get to know us a little bit.
But also release some shame, embarrassment. We're all a lot more similar than what people think. And also at the same opposite of that, we're also very unique.
Yes.
Which sometimes the same thing just looks different in a different way.
Absolutely. The yin and the yang.
Live. All right, today we are going to ask each other some random questions.
I'm nervous.
Spicy.
I'm so nervous. Yes. Like being put on the spot like that.
Yeah, I agree.
And sometimes I feel like I can come up with an answer like bang, and then other times it's like I could sit there for 10 minutes in silence and
contemplate the world.
Yes. And think, hang on, let me just scan through my whole timeline. Yeah, but I won't do that to you, I promise.
Yeah, that'd be great.
I'll just tell you, I don't know.
And you'll also tell me later.
Yeah.
All right, let's get started. You want to pick the first one?
Yeah, I'll read a question to you first.
And we can both answer.
Okay.
So you can ask me and I'll answer. She wrote the paper in half for those listening on audio.
Okay. Oh my God, I really didn't want this one to come up when I wrote it down. Okay. What is the one thing you've done that your parents never found out about?
I think that's easy.
Oh, this is hard. Okay, it's easy. Go.
But it also feels very good girl of me.
Oh boy. I'm gonna feel some real shame hearing what I'm about to say.
No, it does feel real good girl of me. But I remember in high school being such a good girl, getting to the end of grade 12 and being like, there's things I haven't done and experienced, and this is my high schooling days are going to be over. And my friend and I at the time, she was also, quite in the good girl state. And so we decided to wag school, jump in the car, went off to the shops. We also, it's like we had a mini bucket list. Did like a 5-finger what they call the 5-finger discount.
Yes.
We tried, yeah. Not like
bit of thievery, bit of mild.
Yeah, mild thievery. But then we kind of enjoyed the wagging, so we did it for the rest of the week.
You did.
Parents still don't know.
Wow.
Yeah, to this day.
And would they have been cross? I mean,
I kind of don't think so, because it was towards the end of school, and much time has passed now, and I'm going to write in life. So.
They're not going to care today.
Yeah.
Yes.
But probably at the time they would have been disappointed.
Yeah. I can imagine that.
Yeah. What about you? You couldn't think of anything?
Oh no, I can't pick.
Give us some more. Give us the tea.
My parents, they knew and probably still don't know that much about my life, but especially around that stage you're talking about, that end of high school stage. And I mean, not dissimilar to you, I definitely did my first wag of school in that last week, I think, of year 12, before exams happened. And I was like, oh, this is so bad. But then on the side of that, I was doing all this stuff that my dad, who I lived with at the time, did not know about, that was probably way more risky or unsafe. So we live in Newcastle. It's a 3-hour train ride from Sydney.
Oh my God, yeah, okay.
Did I give you another story? My friend and I got on a train at 11 p.m. at night, went down to Sydney, went out in town to a nightclub called Tank. We were 17. hashed a heap of dudes and then got the train back at 3 a.m.
Wow.
So that's one of them. I mean, I've got many stories, probably more like that, where it's like, your parents know that you're going out, they know that you're trying all these things. You are hitting that rebellious stage where you're allowed to almost drink alcohol and go out in town.
Yeah.
And you're
But
just
it's
pushing the
kind of like
boundary that little bit.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but for me, weirdly, wagging school, scarier than getting on a train and going out in Sydney. Doesn't make much sense now that I logically think about it.
Yeah, so where I grew up was about 2 hours out of Sydney. And I remember meeting a boy on MySpace.
Oh, yes.
And I caught the train to Sydney to go meet him for the first time.
Risky.
Yeah, and this is sounds like just when kind of like that whole I don't know when MySpace was around, but
yeah, then
just that that internet era and things happening. Like, I think I would die if I had a daughter who did that.
I know. This is where my brain goes now. It's like, if how do I stop my child doing the dumb things I did? But at the same time, it is like how I am who I am today, and why I'm probably a bit more risk averse today, and also like, have experienced some things. So yeah, it's hard to find the balance as a parent.
Yeah.
And especially with the internet having exploded how it has.
Yeah.
And like AI and all this extra crazy stuff.
Yeah, let's not dive into
No, we're not going there.
All right.
Pick a piece of paper.
I got a question for you. Have you ever felt the urge to prove yourself in a stereotypical male activities?
Oh, well, I mean, my brain immediately goes to like, I won't do a sport or a like game, like even I'm thinking about pool right now. I won't do it if I'm bad.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Do you have that competitive side too? As
well?
well?
It's brutal.
Yeah.
Like,
I don't have it anymore.
Mostly I compete with myself these days,
Yeah.
but yes, it is brutal. And I like, I don't like being bad at something. And I think, sport is stereotypically something that men are, pretty naturally good at.
Yeah. And it's probably more male sports than there is female.
Yeah, people would probably shoot us for saying that today, but
yeah.
I do believe like strength, body, physicality wise.
Yeah.
It is a lot easier for them potentially. Yeah. So, and I think can be much more like testosterone competitiveness, but that's probably one. That's probably one. There's nothing else that I can think of that's like stereotypically male.
Workforce?
Oh, no, I've always worked with women.
Yeah, really?
That's interesting now that that's hit me.
Wow.
I've always actually, I totally lie. I just missed a whole career that I had in HR in the racing industry, which is stereotypically male. But I didn't ever compete or like, try to be something I wasn't. I probably went the other way and milked the fact that I was an empathic female and used it to my advantage.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Love that.
Not going any further. Okay. Name a time. I hate this question too. I'm so sorry. Name a time you were the real life villain in someone's story and you actually were the villain.
Oof, this one has me stumped.
I love villains. I mean, I'm picturing Ursula. I'm picturing like the misunderstood villain of Maleficent.
I'm finding it. I'm
sorry. I will stop now. Voldemort. No.
Are you okay?
No.
That cup of tea must be really strong.
It was the brownie. It was the sugar in the brownie. I haven't had sugar for a while.
It's gonna sound a pretty crappy answer, but I cannot honestly think of one right now.
I'm sure there's people out there who would think, yes, she's been the villain in my story, but to know that you're the villain in someone else's story can be pretty hard as well.
I think proactively, but what also lands me in that is just like recently, like with our episode, I think it was episode 11, How to Fight Right, was between us deciding, actually consciously deciding that I was okay to be the villain.
Yes.
In the story.
Yes.
and coming to a place of accepting that. So
Yeah.
that's the only thing that really kind of comes to mind for me at the moment. Otherwise,
Boring. It's a hard question.
have you
Oh boy.
have you ever regretted being in a relationship too long? And I actually want to clarify regret, because I think we jumped to the word regret and the phrase of no regrets really, really quick. But to regret is to feel sad, repentant, or disappointed over something or someone done or not done.
I have the most brutally.
Sorry, I think there's so many people out there that do have regret. They just don't like that word. But so many people have felt sad or disappointed,
Yeah.
you know, in a relationship.
Yeah.
With something that they did or didn't do in that
Yeah.
relationship. So.
Yep.
So have you ever regretted being in a relationship for too long?
Yes and no.
Ooh, she's towing the fence.
I'm going to, but my answer will make sense, I think, for a lot of people. The yes, in that I had a relationship that I was in for what I would consider a long time in my 20s, like 7 years. And my regret is staying in it too long, past the point of realizing my own like stuff and wounding and damage that I was bringing to the relationship. And B, like in allowing that relationship to get to a real point of toxicity. Yeah, the not regretting it is in the huge amount of learning that I did take from that. So it's both.
Yeah,
it's both. I think the regret comes more in not even that I like sat in that with myself, because I didn't even really realize at the time how toxic I was being. But the regret comes in actually hurting the other person, and not, you know, not really taking accountability or understanding where that was coming from. Yeah. But learned so much from it. Would not be the person I am today. Yeah. And there were lovely moments too. Like it's not like it was completely toxic. So I'm glad I got those as well. Yes. Who is the last person you searched on Instagram? Oh. I'm glad you got that question. I didn't want to have to answer that one.
I wouldn't even know.
I delete as soon as I search someone, I delete it.
Oh, really?
Oh, I'm a cleanser. Like that's a cleanse. There's like an X on the right-hand side. You just go, yeah, I didn't look that up.
Jake Paul.
Now, hang on.
I've got it.
Is that a YouTuber? Who is that? Is he that fight guy that you've been telling me about? Yes, okay.
He was due to fight with Mike Tyson, and Mike Tyson's just pulled out.
Oh.
And I think it's just been super interesting to watch, and just super interesting from, never thought I'd be kind of like looking at that world, but more from a business perspective and kind of marketing and how he promotes and all that kind of stuff. So not from a like looking in it, but like an observer lens. Yeah. It's super interesting to watch.
Why did Mike Tyson pull out? I want to know. I'm curious now.
He had an ulcer flare up in his training, so he has to take time.
Reasonable.
But they're due to reschedule.
Okay, so it is still happening. Right. Interesting.
Apparently, it's super interesting, I think. You'd be interested.
I wouldn't know who he was without you, so thank you for that.
You're welcome. When was the last time you cried and why?
Oh my God, yesterday.
You're asking a pregnant person and they're
right. So and it's so basic, but I have been sick for 4 weeks and I'm hacking up phlegm. I hope you love hearing this, people. And like, I think it was 2 mornings ago, or no, last night, 2 mornings ago, and last night, I was hacking up so much that I was just in the sink and like tears were coming down my face and I was like, I can't do this anymore. Yeah.
But you have no choice over.
No, I can't fix either of them. So
funny.
Okay. Who were you last rude to and why? Man, you're all villainous for you today.
Probably somebody like in a car, like,
Driving here.
yeah, that I had a bit of road rage or something. Or
But do they
just-
know? Do you let them see your road rage?
No, probably not. I throw my hands up in the air sometimes if somebody's like right on the back of my tail with their
Yeah.
like lights and high beam, because I drove up at night,
Yes.
and so like I'll be like, why do you have your lights up? Or why are you tail riding me, or
yeah.
you know, that kind of thing. But yeah. But,
What's that?
Yeah.
Have you ever been intentionally rude to someone?
Probably, but like
Yeah.
I really
Again.
like on the moment. I think like I know that I've consciously kind of known that I've had to engage with someone who I don't really want to engage with. And I've kind of like cut conversations like really short, or just like moved my body away from that person to kind of signal I'm leaving the room type thing. Like I've done what I need to do and now I'm going, like to not linger and things like that, which they could perceive as rude.
It's hard to know
not
what
have
other
a
people say.
conversation, but I'm good, I'm done here, like gotta go.
See ya.
But no, that's all I can think of at the moment.
It's a hard question. I don't like it.
Have you? Yeah, when was the last time that you were rude to someone?
Oh, I think I'm probably unintentionally rude to people all the time at the moment, because I'm just not like really thinking about much beyond my body.
Yeah. Trimester 3.
Ugh. So maybe like I'm gonna say probably to, I don't know, some random in the community that I haven't even realized, because I've just been like getting where I'm going, doing what I'm doing, don't get in my way.
Yeah. Alrighty. What is the last thing you Google searched?
It was reframing because we are going to have an episode on that. And I was like, please like spark my brain, because my brain is not sparking. So it was something pretty dull. Boring.
I thought it would be in some sort of pregnancy thing.
No, I tend not to Google that stuff. I'm not Googling that stuff. Okay. Have you ever kept a friendship hanging around too long? And is there one now?
Oh, second part of the question is easy. No.
Okay.
I've really, over the past, I would say like over the past 5 years, I've really cleaned up my life in that space. But yeah, there's definitely been spaces and places where I've held on to friendships too long for the sake of being friends. And it's just, you've kind of outgrown. Oh, there's just no need to be really connected anymore.
Yeah. Pretty standard.
Yeah. What is the most desperate thing you've done to keep a relationship?
Okay. It's come to me. Got in a fight with an ex, like we were together at the time. Probably we're gonna break up with this fight. Probably should have. Literally, he drove off like in a rage. I got in my car and I like chased him in my car and then cut him off. Like it was bad. Like cut him off on the road and then like got out and really did some ferocious driving.
Savage.
I should have been a Formula One driver in
This is like the whole Lewis Hamilton
Yes.
thing is that you.
Yes. If he had my babies, we would probably have great Formula One driving children. Not because I have had any formal training or ever tested this skill.
Oh my gosh, we need to talk offline about this.
Oh, he's just so calm too. But anyway, thank you. I'm glad you keep reminding me to pick up the paper, because I'm not remembering.
Can't see, I keep pointing.
Because I'm just staring at her like dazed and confused. What are we doing here? Okay.
Real honest, 4 weeks out from giving birth. I mean, she's
I could go at any time in the next 4 weeks. What is the worst lie you have ever told someone?
Oof, the one that feels like really guilty and shameful,
Bring it out.
would be something. Oh, this is gonna sound so bad.
That's fine. We're not judging, are we? No.
This is gonna sound so bad. I would say that with my mum passing away, there's a certain like period of grief that you have where you can kind of get away with some things that you do and say where you're in moments of grief. And I'd have to say that I maybe extended that beyond the time that I knew that I needed it. And I mean, whether it was a service provider, for example, and I needed to get something, or if I delayed paying a bill or something like that, I would leverage that.
Thank you for admitting that. I feel like that will like really land for a lot of people, and they've done something similar.
Yeah.
Yes. Even to get out of things that they don't want to show up to or whatever.
Yeah. Absolutely.
How's it feeling saying that loud?
It's a bit of dick remnants, but it's the truth.
Yeah.
I leveraged it and needed to. I didn't have, in a sense, my own words or strength at that point in time just to say no, and it felt like the easiest thing to say, even though it didn't feel like the right thing to say. Yeah. I own it.
Own it.
Yeah.
Yes, girl.
It's me.
Okay.
It's me.
I was too keen that time.
Oh, you're gonna love this one.
Oh, I hope so.
What is the most absurd superstition that you believe in?
Oh, I am a superstition girl.
Yeah.
I mean, the first thing that comes to my head is I still won't walk under like a post with another post, on, like 2 posts of it, like a sign. Oh my God, a sign, where you walk through it underneath it. So there's like 2 poles and then either a pole up the top or a sign up the top, and you're walking through. It's like a doorway.
Yeah.
Out in public without a door.
Yeah. So it's
I
just like
still won't walk
under,
like through that.
Yeah.
I will go around.
Yeah.
It's like not walking under a ladder. It's kind of the same thing. And I have no idea where that superstition comes from.
Yeah.
What bad thing is meant to happen if you do walk through? Like, I don't know anything about this superstition and I still abide by it. And if I'm walking with my husband, I'm like, walk around.
Yeah.
Go around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Love it.
That's the one.
I'd love for you to ask your parents if that was a thing when you were a kid, or if they ever mentioned anything.
Well, even like, I also still insist on saying bless you when someone sneezes. And I'm pretty sure that comes from like, they used to say back in the day that when you sneeze, it's like the demons coming out of you or something. Like it's some sort of spiritual cleansing.
Yeah.
And
now
I
we
still
just
have to say bless you. And if no one's there to say it to me, I still say it to myself. So I don't know. Weird one. Do you have any?
I think mine would be typical, like the typical things of like not opening an umbrella up inside like a house, not wearing like a hat inside a house.
Yes. Not putting shoes on a bench. There's so many.
I didn't know the shoes on the bench one.
Yeah.
But I don't think we really do that too much. I think just like when especially because it's been raining lately, when you kind of come inside, your umbrella is kind of still open because you're still trying to get like in the door. Yes. But it's kind of always held so that it's not facing up to the ceiling.
Outside the frame down. Yes. Yeah, that's a good one. All right. Are you more likely to hold a grudge or give too many chances to someone? I just want to say out loud, I don't remember writing this 10 minutes ago. It's like I'm reading it for the first time.
I love that. Am I more likely to hold a grudge or
give too many chances to someone? I remember that. I can imagine, like, knowing you, I can imagine this is a hard one for you now.
Yeah.
Because it's probably different.
both. I do feel like it's both. I think what you're referring to is like more recent. It's too many chances,
Oh,
but through like learning,
yes.
like learning that I was actually giving too many chances,
Yes.
not consciously. But then I can see how that's played out, that I've done that in a lot of ways. But I think definitely with like family and siblings and stuff like that, I can see the grudge mark.
So it depends on the person.
Yeah,
Context is really
Totally.
important here.
totally.
I get that.
Last question. What are you more likely to hold a grudge or give too many chances?
It's contextual.
Yeah.
It's contextual. There are people I will hold a grudge. But then there are so many times where I'm way too flexible and like won't set a boundary. And I'll just be like, yeah, it'll work out. And then I've got to have that chat later.
Have the societal expectations of a man ever made you suppress yourself?
Okay, so my first question is, can you give me a societal expectation of a man? Is it like what a man thinks I should be like? Is that what this is?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Roll with how you interpret it.
I need to read it. Okay. I want to say no, but I think that's a cop out. Like I think there would 100% be a yes here. In saying that, I've never been like an overly feminine person.
But is that, do you think, conditioned because unconsciously?
But not because of a man. Not because of a man.
So if we think of some of the societal conditionings, it can be like the roles that we play versus what they play. So they're the breadwinner and you're the homemaker.
No, I mean, no.
You must look a certain way, do a certain thing, appear a
I
certain
do
way,
it all
say
for
a certain
me.
thing.
Like it all seems to come from me versus from a man or society at large. I think society influences everybody, but I really don't. I've never felt like pressured into any role by a man. As a fun, like little bit though, I did have an incredible astrology birth chart reading not too long ago. And he mentioned that in past lives, if you believe in them, I had been made to be domestic, hence why in this life, like I'm working through that karma by being the breadwinner or like a really independent woman and, you know, career-driven woman. So I just think that's an interesting bit. Like maybe I'm going against the grain a little bit.
I'd have to say, and I'm going to answer this one as well.
Thank you.
But I would have to say definitely in my 20s and in my career, it was the part that I felt that I needed to suppress was my emotions.
Right.
And that I needed to be more logical and take the emotion out of decisions and base them on logic and fact. And that does serve a purpose, but there is also so much for women around their intuition and just knowing things are going to go a certain way or be a certain way, or how you can actually inspire people. A lot of energy comes from emotion, you know, emotion, energy and motion. So actually using emotion and leveraging that to like empower the people around you. So yeah, I definitely would have suppressed that more feminine emotional side. Even though I played it out in certain ways in nurturing and caring, there were still parts of that were not expressed. Yeah.
It's great.
Yeah.
I feel like I know you a little bit better.
Me too. I think we're going to continue this conversation.
Yeah, let's go do it. I can't wait till we could do this with a cocktail in hand. That would have been very interesting.
Not too long to go.
Soon.
Not too long to
Soon
go.
enough. Well, thank you for listening, watching, and subscribing. We hope you enjoyed that as a lighter moment.
Yeah, little confessionals series. We might actually put together a little question box for you guys to ask us some questions that you want us to answer in this kind of confessionals style.
Yeah, and we'd love to hear any of your little tidbits. Yes.
Send us a DM. That will remain anonymous.
Yes, we will see you next time. Thank you
For viewing, watching, and subscribing. Hit the like button.
Bye.
Bye.